I'm going to talk about some modifications I made to this Atomstack A5 Pro laser. Coming up. Hi, I'm Roger, welcome to the shop, and my previous video here I assembled this Atomstack A5 Pro laser, and I have since done some modifications to it. I've added a drag chain up here at the top, I've added air assist, I've added a drag chain here on the side, and power supply mount back here. We got some feet, got a grid board. Gonna go over all this stuff and explain what I did, and links for pretty much everything will be down in the description of where this stuff came from. There's some 3D printed parts that rather than design, I always go look at Thingiverse first, and if somebody else has already made it, I'll either just use that or maybe I'll download that and remix it and modify it a little bit, but there's no real reason to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. So pretty much everything here I've used as the 3D printed parts came from Thingiverse. The grid on here is the same as grid as I used on my Ortur laser. It's not exactly right for this, but it's very, very close, and it's within 10 millimeters of being correct in the width. So I just kept it as it was and used it. I don't usually measure things off of that anyway. I just use it for reference points when I am setting up engravings. Right now I'm making a sign. I've got quite a few signs to do. I have the Ortur laser running over on the other side. It's also making signs. And I have my two smaller lasers running up in the loft engraving tiles. I've got a lot of projects going on and need to get them done. So now I'm going a little bit about what I did here. Okay, we'll start out with the air assist. The air assist tubing does run through the drag chain, and we'll get to the drag chain here in a minute. Okay, the parts here. Up here on top is a little guide that holds a hose. That's from Thingiverse. It's actually made for the Ortur laser, but it works fine on here. The part you see below here was made for the Atomstack, but it was made for the focusable laser, where the piece that would snap in. This head is different. I had to modify the laser housing by drilling a hole for the air assist hole, and then two holes to mount a couple screws in it, and I used 832s because I didn't have a 3 millimeter metric tap, so I just went with 832 screws, and I have it aimed directly down. Works perfect, but it's going to take some modifications. The parts for this, once again, will be in the description. Came from Thingiverse. The air pump I use is called a paw fly. Heck of a name. It's very quiet. It's an aquarium air pump, and I'm going to also do this on my Ortur when I get time to do it and figure out how I'm going to do the air assist mount on it, because it won't be anywhere near the same as this. Okay, and back here in the back corner you'll see I've got the power supply actually mounted to the rail. That's completely optional. I'll be using a plug-in strip here. So this here is also something you can download off Thingiverse. If you have a 3D printer, print one out. Very simple. You need a couple of, I think I used three or 4 millimeter socketed cap screws and a couple of hammerhead nuts. Fits into the extrusion. Very simple. Now getting to the drag chains. The drag chain itself came from Amazon. There'll be a link in the description for it where you can get it. The mounts came from Thingiverse. They were made for the Atomstack laser. So therefore it was, I can't say plug and play, because you got to do a little fiddling around getting the little screws and nuts and everything together. But on each end, like up here on the x-axis, there's a piece that snaps over the stepper motor, and then on the other end, this end here, there's a piece that mounts right into existing holes. I mean, it's pretty simple. So, and the same thing will hold true for the Y drag chain. That's the one that runs this direction. You'll have a piece that snaps around the stepper motor. Then the bracket that comes on the chain fits to it. Be the same thing over on the back side. You'll have one that fits there. A little interruption there. Somebody came to the door. Okay, getting back to the drag chain. This is very simple stuff to work with. It just comes with a little teeny screwdriver, and you can just snap it apart and put the links together and snap it back together, and you can adjust your length, and then the little pieces on the chain snap open. You can lay your line in there. Very simple to use. You'll need some 3mm socket head cap screws and nuts in different lengths. There is an assortment you can get on Amazon. It's cheap, and it comes with 3, 4, 5mm. It comes with the nuts and the bolts, and it's a handy thing to have if you're working with lasers or 3D printers or CNCs. And I do a lot of that messing around, so I have a couple of those sets of hardware, and they're handy to have. One of the comments I already see coming is, why didn't you run this drag chain the other way and have it loop down here? Well, the reason is I'm one link short. To run it on the bottom takes one more link, and I didn't have enough links. And I wanted to use this, so I had to flip it around so I would have my travel distance, and right now it's up. So once I order another length of this drag chain, I will flip this over. It's very, very simple. It's just a matter of taking the screws out and rotating the chain around, adding the length, and screwing it back in. So you save the comment there. Yeah, I know this looks a little odd up here, and if you're ever put it in an enclosure, I would have to have a really high enclosure. And I do intend to build enclosures for both of these large format lasers. Smaller 3018 styles I probably won't build enclosures for, but these here I will. Get rid of some of the smoke. I'll be able to vent it out, because I do have a door open. It's fairly warm for December, but it's still a little bit smoky in here. But save the comment. That's why the drag chain's pointing up. Okay, to wrap this little thing up here, the grid is for the Ortur LaserMaster 2 Pro. It's a file that comes on Thingiverse, and I'll have a link for it in the description. It will not exactly match this, and you could go into Photoshop and you could modify it and so on and so on, but for the extra 10mm, because this is made for a 400 by 400mm base, and the Atomstack is a 400 by 410. So I don't care about that 1 centimeter difference over there. So we'll leave it at that. This works perfect. It's good for the alignments that I need to do. And right after the little ending here of the video will be some slides, which I will let play for a while, which will show the engraving of the grid. It'll be some close-ups of the mounts, and you'll be able to see how everything goes together. Otherwise, if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. It always helps the channel. Otherwise, I'm Roger in the shop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.